Phew. Oh, Professor, are you training too? I was just about to finish up, but if you want to join in, I can stick around a while longer. Oh no, it's fine. Just do your thing. Don't mind me. Come on, don't be shy. Phew. I'm beat, but we're finally done. I was already training when you got here, and I finished right alongside you. Guess I outlasted you, huh? Speak for yourself. I'm always looking to improve. By the way, Professor, something I wanted to ask. Are you really Captain Gerald's kid? That's a pretty detached tone to take about your own family. What's your opinion of him, then? You must look up to him, at least. It doesn't sound like you really appreciate him. You didn't even know until you came here that he used to lead the Knights of Seros, did you? If it weren't for him, you wouldn't be half the person you are now. You probably never even thought about how lucky you are. Oh, okay, this really bothers me. Listen up. I don't care if you're the teacher and I'm the student. I'm going to outshine you. I know you were some famous mercenary before you came here, but let me tell you something. I'm going to be better than you ever were. In fact, I'll surpass you in no time at all. So don't blink. You might miss it. Hey, Professor. Got a minute? Look, I'm sorry I snapped at you. I didn't mean to lose my temper. I was rude to you. I should have known better. Huh, I thought you might say that. In that way, you're just like Captain Gerald. You accept other people. You don't let petty details get under your skin. Well, when I was a kid, I kind of latched onto him. I've been calling myself his apprentice ever since. He spent some time in the village I grew up in. Actually, you weren't with him back then. Why not? Huh. Maybe he left you with a relative or something. Anyway, back then, Gerald's job was to deal with poachers. Well, they were bandits, but we called them poachers. Nobody in the village could stand up to them. But your dad, he took them on like it was nothing. I was so impressed. All I could think was how amazing mercenaries were. I'd lived in that tiny village my whole life, so to me, Captain Gerald was nothing short of a legend. So I went right up to him and I told him I was going to be his apprentice. He didn't stick around long after that, but he did teach me a lot while he was with us. Tactics, strategy, training routines, it was all so new and exciting. So after he left, I kept at it, kept training, just like he taught me. Me too. I always planned to meet him again once I became a top-tier mercenary. But I'm just glad I got to see him, to thank him properly and all. I've spent my whole life working to become a great mercenary like your father. There were so many times when I wanted to ask his advice, but I couldn't. I just had to make do. That's how I've made it this far. Just hard work, all on my own. But then you come along. And it's like you don't appreciate Captain Gerald at all, or how lucky you were to have him around your whole life. No, it still really bothers me. You might be his kid, but I'm still his best apprentice. Got it? Hey, Professor, can we talk? I feel terrible about the last time we spoke. I was trying to apologize and just ended up losing my temper again. I'm really sorry. I figured you'd say that, but I still feel like an idiot. Somehow, I just have a hard time keeping my feelings in check around you. And I think if I don't just tell you what I'm thinking, we'll never be able to have a normal conversation. So, let me clear the air. I want us to, engage. Yeah, exactly. I know it's a sudden thing to ask, but I'm not going to feel settled until I know where I stand. Would you do that for me? Good. Don't hold back, okay? I want to see you at your absolute best. Phew. You got me. I'm completely outmatched. No, don't apologize. This is what I needed. You're a true successor to Captain Gerald's style of swordplay. I almost felt like you were him. I thought I was competing with you, but that's as pointless as competing against him would have been. So instead of that, I'm going to focus on keeping the promise I made to him. Captain Gerald said that if anything should happen to him, I'd have to support you in his place. He didn't sound serious at the time, but it was right before before we lost him. So I've decided. I'd like to do just what he said. I know I'm not as strong as I need to be, but I swear to you, I'll train until I am. What do you say? Can I call you my employer? Yes, it's official. I'll protect you no matter what. Professor? What are you doing here? I was talking to Gerald. The sky feels so close, like you can almost touch the stars. I thought my voice might reach him. That the war's finally over. And that his kid and his greatest apprentice did an amazing job out there. Maybe I'm overselling the part I played. Thanks, but I was nothing compared to you. I feel like an idiot for ever thinking I could surpass you. I have managed to keep my promise, though. So, how would you feel about hiring me again? Can't exactly go and break my word now, can I? The war's over, but the enemy might still be lurking. What if they're waiting until I'm gone to attack you? But... oh, I get it. You're probably pretty tired of me always trailing after you, huh? Love? As in the way a commander loves his soldiers, right? Of course that's what you mean. Oh, that's... that kind of love. Can this really be happening? You want to marry me? Of course I will. You are being serious, right? That would be an awful joke. I'm sorry. I should have been more honest. All that stuff about my promise a minute ago, it was mostly just an excuse for wanting to be near you. But I'm not really the romantic type, so I had a hard time coming out and saying it. Are you sure this is what you want, though? I know I'm not exactly conventional. Guess I'm really wearing this ring then, aren't I? But I do still have a promise to keep with Captain Gerald, too. You've got a big job ahead of you, building a whole new Fodlan. I'm going to support you through all of that. Make sure it never gets to be too much. Then that's that. I promise to protect you until death parts us. And I'll be happy for you to do the same for me. Phew. Oh, Professor, are you training too? I was just about to finish up, but if you want to join in, I can stick around a while longer. Oh no, it's fine. Just do your thing. Don't mind me. Come on, don't be shy. Phew. I'm beat, but we're finally done. I was already training when you got here, and I finished right alongside you. Guess I outlasted you, huh? Speak for yourself. I'm always looking to improve. By the way, Professor, something I wanted to ask. Are you really Captain Gerald's kid? That's a pretty detached tone to take about your own family. What's your opinion of him, then? You must look up to him, at least. It doesn't sound like you really appreciate him. You didn't even know until you came here that he used to lead the Knights of Ceros, did you? If it weren't for him, you wouldn't be half the person you are now. You probably never even thought about how lucky you are. Oh, okay, this really bothers me. Listen up. I don't care if you're the teacher and I'm the student. I'm going to outshine you. I know you were some famous mercenary before you came here, but let me tell you something. I'm going to be better than you ever were. In fact, I'll surpass you in no time at all, so don't blink. You might miss it. Hey, Professor, got a minute? Look, I'm sorry I snapped at you. I didn't mean to lose my temper. I was rude to you. I should have known better. Huh, I thought you might say that. In that way, you're just like Captain Gerald. You accept other people. You don't let petty details get under your skin. Well, when I was a kid, I kind of latched onto him. I've been calling myself his apprentice ever since. He spent some time in the village I grew up in. Actually, you weren't with him back then. Why not? Huh. Maybe he left you with a relative or something. Anyway, back then, Gerald's job was to deal with poachers. Well, they were bandits, but we called them poachers. Nobody in the village could stand up to them. But your dad, he took them on like it was nothing. I was so impressed. All I could think was how amazing mercenaries were. I'd lived in that tiny village my whole life, so to me, Captain Gerald was nothing short of a legend. So I went right up to him and I told him I was going to be his apprentice. He didn't stick around long after that, but he did teach me a lot while he was with us. Tactics, strategy, training routines, it was all so new and exciting. So after he left, I kept at it, kept training, just like he taught me. Me too. I always planned to meet him again once I became a top-tier mercenary. But I'm just glad I got to see him, to thank him properly and all. I've spent my whole life working to become a great mercenary like your father. There were so many times when I wanted to ask his advice, but I couldn't. I just had to make do. That's how I've made it this far. Just hard work, all on my own. But then you come along. And it's like you don't appreciate Captain Gerald at all, or how lucky you were to have him around your whole life. Oh, it still really bothers me. You might be his kid, but I'm still his best apprentice. Got it? Hey, Professor, can we talk? I feel terrible about the last time we spoke. I was trying to apologize and just ended up losing my temper again. I'm really sorry. I figured you'd say that, but I still feel like an idiot. Somehow, I just have a hard time keeping my feelings in check around you. And I think if I don't just tell you what I'm thinking, we'll never be able to have a normal conversation. So, let me clear the air. I want us to, engage. Yeah, exactly. I know it's a sudden thing to ask, but I'm not going to feel settled until I know where I stand. Would you do that for me? Good. Don't hold back, okay? I want to see you at your absolute best. Phew. You got me. I'm completely outmatched. No, don't apologize. This is what I needed. You're a true successor to Captain Gerald's style of swordplay. I almost felt like you were him. I thought I was competing with you. But that's as pointless as competing against him would have been. So instead of that, I'm going to focus on keeping the promise I made to him. Captain Gerald said that if anything should happen to him, I'd have to support you in his place. He didn't sound serious at the time, but it was right before before we lost him. So I've decided. I'd like to do just what he said. I know I'm not as strong as I need to be, but I swear to you, I'll train until I am. What do you say? Can I call you my employer? Yes, it's official. I'll protect you no matter what.
Is the water supposed to be this cold? God, my hand slipped again.
Hey, what's that noise? What are you doing?
Sorry, I'm sorry, okay? Another fine mess I've gotten myself into.
What happened, Claude? You're soaked.
The student whose turn it was to do the dishes today was ill, so I volunteered to take his place. The dining hall lady was on my case the whole time for breaking plates and getting water everywhere. Actually, not everywhere, mostly on myself. It was just one big mess. It wore me right out, too. I could really use a nap about now.
You might be a noble with a fancy bloodline, but you sure don't act the part.
Being noble or common doesn't have anything to do with washing dishes.
Oh, I dare say most nobles would refuse to do it. But hey, I prefer it your way. You don't act like you're better than everyone.
I'm honored that you acknowledge my greatness. And I'm rather fond of your blunt way of praising a person's strengths, too.
Really? To be honest, I don't actually trust my own ability to read people. I like to look for the good in them, but that doesn't always mean it's really there. I mean, you seem like a good person, but your heart could be black for all I know.
You say you can't figure people out, but what you said just now was pretty shrewd. It's wise not to trust appearances alone.
I'll keep that in mind. Though, I'm not sure I should be taking advice from someone covered in dish suds.
Oh, yeah, I see your point.
A little closer.
Hey, Leonie, what are you up to?
Oh, come on! What'd you do that for? Look, you ran my quarry off.
You were hunting? Are we that short on food supplies?
No, but I like to hunt every now and again. Keep my skills sharp. No such thing as too much food these days, is there? And it'd be a problem if I got rusty.
I suppose so. You're from a family of hunters, right? Well, there's no shortage of prey to hunt around here.
True. Not many hunters around the monastery, huh? Rivers full of fish, trees bursting with fruit, mushrooms ready to harvest all over. It's the kind of place where you can really be self-sufficient. Guess we can thank the goddess for that.
I don't know. I'm more inclined to thank the bountiful earth and the goddess for such things. The goddess may offer spiritual guidance, but she doesn't fill our bellies, that's for sure.
Not a very noble-sounding thing, to disregard the goddess and honor the land.
Leonie, whose grace do you suppose humans live by? The goddess? The nobility? I'd say it's neither. It's the endless bounty of this magnificent land that gives us life.
Won't hear me deny it. But who's to say it isn't the goddess whose protection makes nature thrive? I'm not the most devout person, but I'm not about to go around saying we don't need the goddess at all.
I said she gives spiritual support, didn't I? I wouldn't go so far as to say she's wholly unnecessary. But in Elmira, Dagda, Bridget, and plenty of other places, they don't believe in the goddess. Nature is a blessing that knows nothing of borders. The goddess is the goddess, and the earth is the earth. They should both be revered for what they are. Look, this is just my personal opinion. If you truly believe that everything depends on the goddess of Saros, that's your...
Hey, it's fine. You don't have to worry about me. I'm a believer, but I know there are those who aren't. And I kind of like your way of thinking. Giving thanks to nature and all. It makes sense.
I knew a wild girl like you would be able to get behind an idea like that.
What, like I'm feral or something?
Hey, you know, this kind of talk could be viewed as heresy if it was public.
Yeah, probably. We'll just have to keep it to ourselves. Well, we've got another battle coming up. What do you think of our chances?
Winning is always the goal. At any rate, I've done everything I can to prepare.
That's the right attitude. I'm sure they're doing all they can on their side, too.
I don't doubt it, but however strong they are, it's no more than a Fodlan concern. Who knows how far this world extends beyond the boundaries of Fodlan? Talk of strength or weakness doesn't amount to much when it's only in relation to a tiny corner of the world.
Guess you're right. Thinking about it like that, even this war seems like a storm in a teacup.
Exactly. It's nothing more than an internal quarrel amongst the people of Fodlan.
Typical laid-back Claude. I always like talking to you. Your perspective on the world is so refreshing. Things I thought were obvious turn out not to be.
The way you think, that changes the way you see things. Common sense never tells the whole story. It's similar to what we were talking about before, about how you need to doubt yourself first.
True enough, but where did you get these ideas? That perspective of looking past the walls of Fodlan, when it's all we can see in front of us.
Do you really want to know?
I do.
But I'm afraid now isn't the time. When this war is won, I'll tell you all about it. It'll be easier for me to show you than to tell you.
Show me. Are we going somewhere?
It's quite a distance. You'll start to appreciate how big the world is if you go.
Sounds eye-opening. I'll look forward to it. Can we call it a promise?
Yes, it's a promise. But first, let's win this war and leave it far behind us.
Oh, it's Leonie! Perfect. The soil's ready. Let's get to planting.
She's so diligent, I can barely... Oh! Look at her elbow.
There we go, all set. Now a little water.
Her sleeve's all torn. She should get that fixed.
Hey, Bernadetta, what are you doing here?
Leonie! I was,
What is it?
I was just admiring your hard work.
If you've got time to stare, you may as well help me out. Is that all you wanted to say?
Not exactly.
Well, come on, out with it.
It's the elbow!
Your elbow looks fine to me. Is it bothering you?
Not mine, yours. Your sleeve's torn.
Huh, how about that? You're right. I didn't notice. You could have just told me right away, you know. It's just a little tear, though. Nothing to worry about.
If you don't mind, I could fix it for you. It would only take a minute.
You can do that?
I'm actually pretty good at sewing.
I never knew. Well, if you're offering, by all means. Just let me finish watering these. Oh, I guess I should get this shirt off first, though, huh?
What? Hold on, don't... You can't just... Here. I patched up the clothes you gave me.
Hey, thanks. You've helped me a lot lately. I feel like I should be doing this stuff myself. But ever since you patched up my sleeve, I've been really interested in your craft.
Craft? You mean my embroidery?
Yeah, when I saw what you were doing, I thought, what the heck is that? But it turned out to be a nice touch, once I was actually wearing it. Practical, too. When you're embroidering, you patch up the torn parts with new cloth, right? And that strengthens it, so the same part won't break as easily next time.
I'm glad you like it. At first, I felt like you thought it was stupid. I was worried you secretly hated me or something. It made me pretty scared to show you my stitching.
Sorry, I should have told you I liked it. Thanks, Bernadetta. I'm glad I asked for your help.
Oh, it's nothing.
What'd you make this time? A hornet, huh? You do like the scary critters, don't you?
It zips out from the trees and strikes, just like you.
I sting like a hornet, do I? Actually, I like that. You know, you ought to be more confident.
What?
You're good enough at sewing that you can make a living out of it. You should take pride in that. Your skills would be really useful to the war effort, too. We're always needing equipment mended.
Useful? Oh, no. I'm completely useless. Even more so on the battlefield.
That's not true at all. You've been a great help. Maybe I'm a better fighter, but I've got nowhere near the same skill at sewing. We can help each other. Isn't that what friends do?
Friends? We're friends?
Hey, come on. I know you're not the most confident, but this is getting silly. Of course we're friends. I completely trust you.
Leonie?
Yeah?
Get your clothes torn up as much as you want. I'll always be here to patch them right up.
Right, for sure. But I wasn't just talking about embroidery, you know.
If you don't have any business here, go away. You're bothering me.
Finally spotted me, did you?
What do you want?
They say you're the best. I wanted to see your training with my own eyes.
Spying on people. Is that a hobby of yours? I hope you got your fill.
Enough to see how to beat you, at least.
You think you can beat me?
That's right. See, I was trained by...
Gerald, yes.
So you know.
I heard he was your teacher. Perhaps we should test you. See how much of your training sank in.
I'm ready if you are.
Okay, I'll give you a chance.
Sounds good. When?
I'll let you know. In the meantime, practice. I won't go easy on you.
Oh, don't worry. I'll be ready.
This will be fun.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
How long did you expect me to stand here?
I did just say sorry, but I could say the same to you. You were pretty slow to settle on a time.
I can't help having a busy schedule. Plus, I thought you could use the extra time to prepare.
We could go back and forth like this all day. Or we could get started.
You were the one who kept me waiting. Let's begin.
On my signal?
Hurry up.
That's better. Okay, go!
Let's see what you... Huh? Ah! Ah, a pit trap?
That's right. How you feeling down there?
Coward!
Say what you want, but Captain Gerald taught me this one. You're heavier than you look.
I'll admit, I wasn't expecting that.
If this were for real, you'd be dead. Aren't you glad I put straw down there instead of spikes?
Yes, I underestimated you. I suppose your lateness was a ploy to distract me.
You're not wrong. I did it to rile you up. Draw you in. You're capable, confident. I was counting on that. So, what do you think about Captain Gerald's training now?
His technique worked and you won. What else is there to say? Winning is all that matters. You drew my attention to a major vulnerability. I'll need to be wary of traps. Thank you, Leonie.
Seeing as you're thanking me, can I ask you a favor? Will you come watch my next training session? I'd like a few pointers about fighting in close quarters.
The loser must pay tribute, I suppose. Yes, I'll help you train.
You will? Thanks!
And that's how it's done.
Good to know. There are so many differences between bows and blades.
Yes, you're a quick learner, Leonie, and quite a good teacher as well.
Must be Captain Gerald's influence. The weather, the terrain, the enemy's feelings. You have to find ways to make it all work for you.
I agree. A warrior can't stick too closely to predefined tactics. That's quite shrewd. You're impressive for a girl.
For a girl? Come on, you're past that. Looking down on your opponent is a great way to fall into a pit trap, isn't it?
I suppose that's true.
Glad you remember.
I still have much to learn. Not only about swordplay, but also about thinking on my feet. I hope to learn more from you, Leonie.
Count on it. We'll come up with plenty of new ideas if we work together. Guess that means we're partners, doesn't it?
We're what?
Partners. Friends who help each other improve.
Huh. Partners. That's not bad.
Not at all. Looking forward to working with you, partner.
Likewise, partner.
Well, hello there, gorgeous. You're looking lovely today. Join me on a stroll around town?
Aw, is a sweet girl like you doing all this hard work by yourself? That's no good. Allow me to help.
Hi.
Oh, hey, Leonie. Sorry, but I'm kind of in a hurry right now.
Hey! Get back here!
Whoa, no need to yell. Do you need something?
You chat up all the girls like that, don't you?
What a terrible thing to say. I see a girl, I figure it would be rude just to pass her by without at least a wink, or a nice word. But you knew that, so I'm going to get going now. See you, Leonie.
Wait, now hold on! How come it's not rude for you to just pass me by?
Me? Pass who now?
Look at me! I'm a girl, you know.
Oh, I see. A girl. You're a girl. Huh. Sorry. I know it's true in theory, but it looks like my brain just didn't want to accept it. But you're correct. You are a beautiful girl in your own right. Yes, that is a statement with which I agree. I am ever so terribly sorry for being so rude, my lady. How can I ever make this up to you?
Yeah, hang on, back up. Don't get the wrong idea.
Seriously, I feel just dreadful about how I acted. This is the first time I've done anything like this. It's shocking that I'm capable of such low behavior. Even if you are a somewhat crude, spirited girl, that doesn't excuse my...
What did you just call me?
Right, of course. I'm sorry. I can't believe I was so thoughtless.
Hey! Acting pitiful won't get you anywhere. I won't just forget about this, you know. Hey.
Hey, Leonie. Hello, beautiful. What brings a sweet girl like you to a place like this?
I just came to the greenhouse to look at flowers. What's with you?
Nothing much. Nothing much. I was just thinking about how sunflowers don't deserve to be stuffed away in a greenhouse. They'd bloom better out in the open, just like you.
Could you cut the weird metaphors and just say what you want to say? Oh wait, I get it. I'm not ladylike enough to fit in with all the pretty flowers.
No, okay, that compliment backfired. Let me try a different angle.
This is a joke, right? Tell me this is a joke.
What have you got against sunflowers anyway? I think they're lovely myself. If you think I only care about delicate flowers raised in a greenhouse, you've got me all wrong. Statuesque sunflowers, blooming proud and tall in the open air, have a beauty all their own.
Is that right?
You better believe it. And the same goes for you. You have a beauty unlike any other. I look at you and I see sunflowers.
Look, can you just go back to normal?
At this point, I feel like anything I say is just going to make you more angry.
Why are you suddenly not capable of carrying on a normal conversation?
My eyes have been opened to the charms of the beautiful flower blooming right beside me. It's a whole new day for my heart.
You can quit messing with me at any time.
I'm not. I'm absolutely serious. You really are as charming as any flower. I see that now.
Would you stop? This is getting weird.
Even sincerity doesn't work? What kind of flirting is going to satisfy you? You know what? I'm just going to leave you alone for now, so I can get a fresh start some other time.
Right. Bye. Charming? Me, of all people. Like I'd actually believe that. Stupid. Hey, Lawrence, got a minute?
Certainly. I trust you're well?
Doing great. I found a load of old weapons, just got done hauling them out of storage.
Old weapons, you say? If there are any interesting swords in there, I would love to see them.
They might only be good for training, but with a little care, who knows? Here, have some oil.
And why exactly are you giving this to me?
Like I said, they need a little care. With a bit of maintenance, some of these will really shine.
Yes, I heard you. So why did you give me the oil?
It's for polishing, Lawrence. Don't tell me you've never polished a weapon before.
Well, that is hardly a task befitting someone of my station. If you had an exquisite blade, something of real historical significance to complement my noble heritage, that would be another matter.
In that case, appraise while you polish, you're bound to find something good working through these.
This seems as fine an occasion as any to air my grievances. I am a highborn noble. As such, it is my sworn duty to protect the common folk. I have no time for trivialities. What's more, you seem to be under the misapprehension that you can order me about. Please think carefully about how you speak to me.
I'm not ordering you around, and I'm not talking to you as a noble either. I'm asking you to help me with this, as a friend.
I am your friend, but I am also a noble. Those two qualities are not mutually exclusive.
Oh, good. Let's get to it then, buddy.
Hello, Leonie. Busy as usual, I see.
Yep, lots to do. Not like you fancy nobles. Hey, can't you see all this stuff I'm carrying? Come on, move over already.
Alas, I cannot comply with your request.
Can't even ask a noble to take a step to the side, huh? That's a joke, right? You're kidding.
You've injured your foot. I could tell immediately by the way you are favoring it.
What?
Heavy lifting will only worsen the injury. Please, permit me to examine it.
Hey, cut that out! Isn't that improper or something, bowing to a commoner?
I am not bowing to you. I am tending your wound.
That's not what it'll look like. Hey, it's fine. Leave it.
Easing the burdens of the common folk is a natural obligation of the nobility. Now hold still and keep quiet for a moment, if you would be so kind.
That's a real pretty way to talk about sitting around in castles doing nothing. Let me tell you, everyone in my village is so grateful to be taxed up to the eyeballs for the privilege of— Ow!
Oh, it's quite swollen. And you're feverish. Fortunately, I do have an ointment here that should be of use.
What, you just carry that stuff around with you?
Certainly. It won't do to be unprepared if I happen across someone in need.
I don't get you, Lawrence.
It seems I've neglected to pack bandages. I'm afraid this handkerchief will have to suffice.
What, that fancy thing? Bit of a waste, isn't it? Hey, no thanks. I don't need some noble's pity.
What about the help of a friend? I am as much that as I am a noble, if you recall.
More of your weird logic.
There, that should ease the pain. And since you are recovering, allow me to carry this burden for you as well. There we are. Now, farewell.
I really don't understand that guy. Oh no, I completely forgot to thank him. Hey, got a minute?
Leonie, are we to sharpen swords again?
No, I came to give you this handkerchief back. Sorry, I know I held on to it for a while. You lent me this, remember?
I recall giving it to you. It is a noble's duty to give to the common folk. In return, the commoner need only pay respect.
That's nice. You left out the part where the nobles take all the stuff the regular folks make?
Yes, the common folk give the fruits of their labor, willingly, I might add, as a token of that respect. The head of San village offers his tribute in exactly that spirit, you know.
San? That's my village. You knew?
Of course. We granted exclusive hunting rights to San and forbade outsiders from poaching. In fact, when we received complaints about just that, we hired mercenaries to deal with the issue.
So that's what brought Gerald.
What was that?
Nothing. Look, just take the handkerchief. I'm returning something I borrowed from a friend.
Very well. As your friend, I will accept it.
You know, I really wish you wouldn't think of nobles as always giving and commoners as only receiving. Friends help each other, without thinking about status, and that help goes both ways.
Quite so. And when I require the aid of a friend, I assure you I will happily recognize it. But only with friends. In the main, I must continue to refuse assistance from the common folk. For a noble to accept would be disgraceful.
Huh. I always thought he was just stuck up. Turns out, he just has this grand idea of nobility he's trying to live up to. Oh no! I didn't even give him the handkerchief!
It's only a scratch, Leonie. I'm all right.
One mistake like that in battle and you're done. This is your weapon hand, isn't it? Let me stop the blood.
Apologies for the trouble.
No trouble, and no apologies. Thanks is what you say when a friend helps you out. Darn.
What's wrong?
I need a bandage to stop the bleeding, but this is all I've got.
My handkerchief.
I was only carrying it around to give back to you anyway. Mind if I use it for this?
Very well. I suppose that's fitting in a way.
I guess so. Not that I'm happy you're bleeding. I'm glad you'll accept it, though. In the past, you might have refused it.
Yes. I might have made it an issue of commoners giving aid to the nobility or some such.
I didn't understand why you were so strict about it, but I think I kind of get it now. You know, if every noble were like you, the world would be a better place.
Perhaps, but you were right. Many great deeds are accomplished by friends working together, especially when those friends are as capable as you.
Me?
I hope this is not the first time I have told you this, Leonie, but you are an exceptional individual. By insisting on matters of status in dealing with you, I have done you a terrible disservice. For that, please accept my apology. Let us promise to look out for one another as friends from now on.
No need for vows. That's how I've always seen it. You weren't wrong about nobles and commoners each having their own roles. But the important thing is we help each other.
That is precisely what being friends with you has helped me to understand. In fact, I've begun somewhat to think of you as rather something more.
Huh? Sorry, what did you say?
I said, I hope we'll always give each other support.
Hey, Leonie, are you just getting back? Whoa, what's with the bag? It's huge!
Oh, this? I thought I'd get all my chores done at once. Guess it got a little out of hand. Sorry to be a pain, but could you help me out?
I'm happy to help. Where'd you go to get all this stuff?
Well, first it was just the cloth scraps from the tailor, and then it was the used oil from a restaurant in town. After that, it was the books the scholars didn't know what to do with. I mean, that was just on the way.
Whoa, it sounds like you did a lot of running around today.
It wasn't so bad. I just figured it would save time if I did it all in one trip.
You planned all that out? Impressive! What are you gonna do with all that stuff you got?
The scraps will be good for dishcloths, and I can make soap from the oil. The books are just to help with my studies.
You really can't let anything go to waste, can you?
Nope, can't stand the idea.
Who knew you were so thoughtful? I mean, with actual thinking ahead. You're so generous to everyone and always making me food. I never knew how much thought you must put into it.
I cook to relax, and it's nice seeing how enthusiastic you get about eating what I make. Whatever I give away is just the stuff that isn't useful to me. I pick up all sorts of things when I'm in town. Giving things like that to people who need them or who can actually use them makes sure they aren't wasted.
That makes sense. You've got to use up the stuff you've got after all. Hey, do you think you're like this because you didn't have much growing up?
I guess times were tough now that you mention it. The folks in my village definitely aren't rich. My dad had to go through a lot of trouble to get the recommendations I needed to attend the academy. That doesn't mean I've grown up to be stingy. It just means I don't like to squander. Anyway, enough of that. It's in poor taste to go on about your own hardships. I've always got time for a meal with a friend, and it so happens I picked up some choice meat today. Why don't we share it?
Now you're speaking my language.
Oh, it's Raphael. What's he doing at that desk? Hey, are you studying? I thought you'd given up on it. Nice to see her. What the?
Oh, Leonie!
What's wrong? Why are you crying?
I just got a thank you letter from my little sister.
Okay, maybe start from the beginning.
My little sister lives with my grandpa now. She's had to deal with so much since I decided not to take over the family business.
You might have to back up a bit more before this starts to make sense to me.
Our parents were merchants, but they died in an accident. We had some money saved at first, but Grandpa isn't healthy enough to work, and I'm not smart enough to work a job that requires much thinking.
That's really tough. Hard to make a fortune with just your strength, I'm sure.
I had to sell all our valuables just to pay my way here so I could become a knight.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure.
My sister wants the best for me, but she's the smart one in the family. She's the one that should be here. When I ask if she needs anything, she always says she's fine. She doesn't want to ask me for anything, because she knows I'm having such a hard time here.
She sounds like a great kid. So, what did the letter say?
It says she's happy and thankful for all the study materials I sent her.
That's good, right? Wait, where did you find extras?
I couldn't find any, so I just sent her mine. It's like you said, right? It's better to give them to someone who will use them instead of letting them go to waste.
Don't take this the wrong way, but don't you think you've still got things to learn? Well, I guess if it makes her happy, it's worth it. Maybe I can scrounge something up for her too. Hey, writing to your sister again?
You bet! Gotta reply to these things as soon as they come in.
You had one last week too. It's great to see you're both so good about staying in touch. It's especially important when there's a war going on.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. My sister wrote to say how much she loved the painting supplies you sent.
Good. I'm glad gathering those pigments paid off.
You even made her a brush. I really appreciate you doing all that for her.
I was fascinated with painting at that age. I was a pretty artistic kid, if you can believe it. Not a lot of time for it when you're hungry, though.
Sounds like you had a pretty tough time growing up too, huh?
I guess so. We never thought of it that way. But it's true the children in my village don't usually get to choose their futures. Any one of us could have had the talent for artistic genius and never even noticed. I was one of the lucky ones. I only got to follow my passion thanks to my father and all the other folks. That's why, once I come into my own, the first thing I'll do is head back there and help the other kids.
Oh, wow. It's like all the kids in your village are counting on you.
No need to exaggerate it. Besides, it's not like I'm unique. You're working hard for your sister's future, aren't you?
Yeah. It's like me and you are both carrying big weights. We should try sharing the weight with each other. You know, lighten both of our loads.
Huh?
If we share our problems, then we only gotta carry half the weight, right? It works out for everybody.
It's probably a good thing you didn't try to take on your family's business. If you take half of my burden and I take half of yours, the total's still the same.
Nah, that doesn't sound right. Everything's lighter when you don't gotta carry it alone.
On second thought, you might be right. With the right attitude and the right partner to share the burden, maybe it is only half the weight.
Now you're getting it. It's a waste of energy to struggle alone when there's someone who can help you.
That's true. And I do hate waste, as you well know. So when it comes to working toward the future you're after, you know I won't fall short.
Great! And you should never fall short on sharing a big meal with me, too.
Deal.
Oh, Professor, here's the map you... Well, there's always next time, I suppose.
Hey, Ignatz! Didn't you have something to talk to the professor about?
Oh no, nothing urgent. You didn't cut short your conversation because of me, did you?
Come on, do I seem like the type to do that? No, I just had a couple of questions about the bows. We're done now, so I thought I'd come and tell you.
The bows? Is something wrong with them?
Lots of them have come in for repairs lately, so I switched out some of the strings for stronger ones. They've been breaking less, but now they're harder to draw.
Ah, I see. I suppose people would prefer if you went back to the lighter bowstrings.
Maybe. If the only issue was the draw weight, I'd just tell people to get stronger arms. But the real problem is that you can't shoot as fast. The arrows also fly too far now.
I can see how slower shooting is a drawback, but the arrows flying farther, that actually sounds like a good thing.
Sure, on open plains, but up close you lose accuracy. That's why I thought it might be good to use different bowstrings for different scenarios. I wanted the professor's opinion about that.
Oh, good point. You know a lot about bows, don't you?
Guess I do. I grew up in a hunting village, so I've been around them my whole life. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily better than anyone, but at least I know what I'm doing. And you? Do you have something you're really good at?
Me? Oh no, I don't think so.
Well, I'm sure you'll find your thing someday.
I hope so.
Who's there? Oh, hey, Ignatz.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Relax. You're not interrupting.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you were training out here.
I sometimes come here to practice by myself. It's more like a real battlefield, you know? Shooting the targets in the yard lets you train your aim and all, but the tension just isn't the same.
You're right. A real battlefield feels quite different. But if that's the atmosphere you want, I feel even more like I'm intruding.
Oh, knock it off. You're already here. May as well stick around while I catch my breath.
Ah, okay, sorry. Thank you. Sorry to bother you.
You know you've said you're sorry about a dozen times since you got here.
Oh, I'm Ah,
It's fine. I guess it's part of your charm. Hey, what's that bundle of papers? Oh, did you come here to paint? I remember now. Someone said you're a great artist. You paint a lot, right?
Yes. Yes. When I have the time, that is. I enjoy painting. It helps me relax.
Oh, well, that could be your thing.
My thing? Huh? What do you mean?
Last time we talked about it, you said you didn't have a thing you were really amazing at. But if you like painting so much, it must be a skill you're looking to master.
My paintings are nothing but a hobby. Besides, I'm not that good. I never took art lessons. When I was little, I drew a picture for a young girl. The picture made her so happy that I decided to keep at it. That's how it started.
So you're practicing your art to make other people happy? Is that it?
Oh no, that's an overstatement. I must insist again, it's just a hobby. Even if I were to become a master artist, it wouldn't be a useful skill.
Aren't you from a merchant family employed by the nobles? I think it would be really useful there.
I'm not inheriting the business. My brother is. My father said that I'm to become a knight. So my art won't do anyone any good. At all. Ever.
Oh, Ignatz.
Ah, Leonie. Off to train?
Already done. What about you? Off to draw?
No, I'm on my way back. I was thinking of adding a little color to my latest piece, so...
Come to think of it, I've still never seen your work. Here, let me take a peek.
It doesn't work like that. You have to let me know in advance. I need time to prepare.
Lighten up. Wow, look at all that paper. Are these all drawings? What should I look at first?
Wherever we travel, I try to capture the feeling and character of the landscape. I guess they've all kind of piled up. Each place is unique. Not just the geography, but also the clothing and architecture and so on. Everywhere has its own design sensibilities.
Yeah, you'd think there'd be only one way to do stuff like engraving, but it actually varies a lot.
Just within the Alliance, the styles are quite different between the North and South, and the Empire is even more diverse.
Oh, here's a landscape. What a bright blue sky. You really make it seem alive.
The blue of the sky changes with the season too. In the summer, it's darker, and yet in the winter, it's almost luminous. And, of course, the landscape below affects the sky's appearance by virtue of contrast. It's hard to get the color just right, so I spend a lot of time experimenting with pigments and... Oh no, I'm so sorry, I've been talking your ear off.
Listen, Ignatz, you need to become a painter.
Huh?
Don't say it's not useful. Your talent moves people. Someday, I'm sure your art will save someone's life.
Oh no, I wouldn't go nearly that far.
Remember that girl you told me about? You made her so happy, and you were only just starting out. Think about what you could do now that you've had so much practice. This is your calling.
You think so?
Yeah, it's something you can do that no one else can. I envy you. I wish I had a gift like that. So stop apologizing for your talent and just do it.
Thank you, Leonie. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a lot to think about.
Hey, Ignatz. Drawing again?
I am. I suppose that's rather irresponsible, as we're in the midst of a war. But ever since we last spoke, I felt keen to pursue my artistic aspirations.
Like I said, it's your calling. Don't feel bad about it.
Alright, I'll try to embrace it. And you, are you practicing archery today?
More just double-checking this bowstring. I want to make sure it's ready for the next battle.
Okay. Well, let's both do our best.
That's the spirit. Does that mean you finally accepted that you're an artist?
I'll try to discuss it with my parents after the war. There's little demand for knights in peacetime. In fact, painting might be a more reliable way for me to support my family. I'll try to persuade them with arguments along those lines.
Good point. I'm glad you've got some confidence.
Come to think of it, Leonie, what will you do when the war is over?
Me? I'm going to become a top-tier mercenary.
A mercenary in peacetime?
Even after the war's over, there'll be plenty of work for me to do before peace really takes hold. I'll pay what I owe my village back, with interest. After that, I don't know. Never thought about it.
I'm sure you can do whatever you put your mind to.
Hardly. Lots of options just don't suit me. I mean, could you imagine me as a songstress? But yeah, I don't know. Once I paid off my debts, I guess I'll just have to find something new.
I don't think there's any rush. You can travel and relax, and think about it.
Travel, huh? There's an idea. Want to come with?
Huh? Me?
Sure. You were really excited about different styles across the world, weren't you? Don't you want more of that? Maybe even see the sky in a new shade.
Yes, I suppose I do. I'd like to see the whole world.
If your parents object, we'll just say I kidnapped you. Actually, feel free to say that even if you go alone.
Oh no, I want us to see the world together. Your presence makes every landscape more beautiful.
Hey, hold on. What's this all of a sudden?
Oh, that's not what I meant.
You're hilarious, Ignatz. There's never a dull moment with you around.
I think I'm gonna pass out. Ah!
Whoa, Lysithia? You're really pale.
Yeah, I've been feeling really queasy all morning. I'm just heading back to my quarters to rest.
Can you even make it there in that state? Here, climb on my back. I'll carry you.
What? No. I'm not some sort of infant.
Always worried about looking like a kid. No time for that now. Just get on.
I'm feeling a bit better now. I should be okay from here. Thank you so much, Leonie. I hope I wasn't too heavy. Was I?
No, not at all. Actually made for a fun bit of training.
Training?
Yeah, carrying someone around is good for the legs. You're just the right weight for it, too. I might ask you to help me train again sometime. Anything can be a kind of training with the right attitude, you know?
Are you always thinking about training?
Well, I can't devote all my time purely to training, so it's more efficient if I can train while I get other stuff done at the same time.
Wouldn't that actually be rather inefficient?
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, for example, if you're training for endurance, it seems running would be a better approach. If you're only ever training by cramming it in with other tasks, you won't be getting the best results. I'm no expert on the subject, but even I can logic that one out.
Come to think of it, you do always seem to stick to a pretty rigid schedule, don't you? I've noticed that you focus completely on whatever it is you've set out to do. Then you switch to something else and focus completely on that.
You've noticed, have you?
Now that I think about it, you may be right. Maybe that is the more efficient way to do things. Hey, you're really bright, Lysithia. Thanks so much for the helpful advice.
That was sweet of Leonie to check on me and carry me all the way to my quarters. And in the end, I just lectured her. She did thank me for it, but I probably could have handled that better.
Hey, I'm about to take out the trash. Got anything you want me to take?
How about these? Just some old study notes of mine.
Wow, that's quite the pile there. You sure it's all fine to throw away?
Of course. It's all safely stored in my brain now. If I concentrate, I can access any of it with ease.
Why am I not surprised? I wish I had even half your power of concentration. Okay, here we go. Ugh, this is pretty heavy. Well, it'll be a good workout. Oh, but you were telling me not to take my training so lightly. Still, can't hurt to get a little exercise in. I'll just take it at a run. See you later. What is it, Lysithia? Was there something in that pile of paper you wanted to hang on to after all?
No, that's not it. There's just something I want to say to you. I'm sorry for saying your way of doing things was inefficient. You've clearly grown plenty strong, doing things as you have. Not to mention, multitasking and training in that way surely presents interesting challenges.
Well, sure. But if everyone has their own methods, then your methods aren't wrong either. All you did was share them with me, so there's no need for apologies. Still, it's probably beyond me to imitate your levels of focus and concentration. How do you even manage to throw yourself into only one thing like that?
I haven't much choice. I can't waste even a single moment.
I can understand that. I'm sort of the same way. I hate feeling like I'm not getting enough work done. Anyway, you should just do what works for you. You've got something you want to achieve, right? That's why you feel pressured to study so hard.
Yes.
Then focus on what matters to you. Leave the rest to people who have the time for it. And hey, if you need any heavy lifting done, you know where to go. The way I see it, it's all training.
You know, Leonie, you're so kind, so strong.
Whoa, what's with the compliments all of a sudden?
I was just thinking what an incredible partner you'd make. Really, you've got all of the perfect qualities.
What?
I'm not simply saying that. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say.
You're making me blush. What a strange way to compliment someone.
Being kicked must have hurt, didn't it, Dorte? Did they think you won't gallop unless you're in pain? It must be difficult letting those brutes ride you.
Hey, Marianne, what are you up to?
Nothing.
Really? I was sure I heard you talking to someone. By the way, are you free right now?
Is there something you need?
I was about to go buy towels and soap, but the girls saddled me with all these specific requests. They want it all to look cute or to smell a certain way, but all that's just nonsense to me. I've always made my own towels out of old scraps and soap from used cooking oil. I've never given it much thought beyond that.
Oh.
But I've noticed you've got some really nice things, so you have an eye for that stuff, right? Obviously, I give you all the credit, and I'm sure everyone would be really grateful for your help.
No, I don't deserve that kind of praise.
Really? I don't think that's true. Come on, you'll be doing me a big favor.
My adoptive father tells me I shouldn't stray too far from the monastery.
That's nonsense. You've got to get some fresh air now and again.
I should stay. Besides, I wouldn't be much help. I don't think anyone would like whatever I pick out anyway. It would all go to waste. And I'm sure that having me around would just cause you misfortune, Leonie.
Are you serious?
I should stay here by myself.
Now, hold on just a second. You'll cause me misfortune? What kind of backwards talk is that? If you really don't want me around, then at least come out and say it straight. I'm sorry for the unwelcome invitation. Don't worry, I won't make the same mistake again. Oh, hey, Marianne.
Leonie?
I thought greenhouse duty was mine today. What are you doing here?
Oh,
I'm sorry. You've been avoiding me ever since I lost my temper, haven't you? You're probably scared of me now. In the moment, I was hurt. I'm sure you had good reasons to act the way you did. If you want me to leave you alone, I will. I promise. You've got nothing to fear from me.
Leonie,
I've watered all the plants, so I'm done here. I'll get out of your way.
Wait!
Huh? Hey, what is it?
It's, I don't mean to bother you. I'm sorry for keeping you here.
No, not at all. Thanks for keeping me. Honestly, I've been worried about you. If you ever want to talk about anything, just say so. I'll make time.
I've been avoiding people for most of my life, so I'm not the best at speaking.
I know it's hard. You've been through a lot. But it's worth the extra effort to talk to your friends.
I make everyone uncomfortable. I just don't know how to carry on a conversation.
Hey, we're having one right now. And I'm telling you, I'm not uncomfortable. I'm actually really happy. So don't worry about me. And it's okay to be quiet sometimes, but try to find a middle ground at least. Otherwise, you'll never get any better.
Oh.
As far as what to talk about, anything's good. Hobbies, things you like, a dream you had last night. Really, anything.
Okay then. I like this flower. I think it's nice.
I think so too. Did you know that where I come from, those have a completely different color?
Oh, really? I'd like to see that.
Great. Come visit my village someday. In fact, we should invite all of our friends. It'll be fun.
Oh, yes. That would be very exciting.
Why do I have to organize the library? I'll get in trouble if it's not done, and I can't think of anyone who'd do it for me. Since no one else is around, though, time for a little break. What are those sounds? Ha! Yeah! Leonie, always at it. How exhausting that must be. What's this?
Hey, what are you doing? That's mine.
If you leave it lying on the ground, people will think it's trash.
I usually wear it around my neck, but I put it down while I'm training so I don't get sweat all over it.
Well, people won't know that, will they? You should have just left it in your room.
It's a good luck charm. If I don't keep it close by, then what's the point?
How stubborn of you. I will say it looks to be a very well-loved charm.
Captain Gerald gave it to me when I was a kid.
If it's that important to you, you should wash it. Then again, I suppose it is made of wood. Have you considered coating it with resin? That would preserve it nicely. You could even accessorize it, make it look cute.
Thanks, but Captain Gerald made it especially for me. I'd really rather keep it just as it is.
Well, if that's how you feel, I won't argue with you. Me personally, I'd choose a cute necklace over a dirty old charm any day.
I'm sure you would. But Captain Gerald didn't treat me as some young girl. He treated me like a person who mattered, an equal. He taught me everything. I don't want to forget his teachings, so I'm going to keep this charm just the way it is.
Huh, what do you know?
Hey, Hilda. You said you wanted to talk? Whoa. What's with all these expensive necklaces? Why do you have them all laid out like that?
Pretty, right? I'll let you choose whichever you like.
Huh? Why would you do that?
Just choose. I want you to have one.
I'm not gonna accept a gift like that without a reason. Even with a reason, I'd probably decline.
Look how gorgeous they are, though. Wearing beautiful things gives you energy.
Maybe for you.
Yes, for me. Why would it be any different for you?
Because to me, those are just fancy decorations. Take this one, for example. How did you come by it?
This was the first necklace I picked out for myself. It doesn't suit my style nowadays, so I don't often wear it.
That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. The sentimental value of each one. These necklaces are nice and all, but I don't have any special feelings or memories about any of them. But this charm, it's packed with things I don't want to forget. Captain Gerald's teachings and a lot of memories, too. Even if to you, it's just a dirty hunk of wood.
I do understand. But still, you're not going to be very popular with the boys if you keep wearing that dirty old thing.
Like I care about that.
You can drop the whole stony face to act. Come on, I'm offering to help you here. I could even make a charm for you as a gift, if you're really hung up on sentimental value.
Make a charm for me? You'd do that?
Sure, why not? I don't want you to be alone your whole life. Besides, this happens to be a talent of mine. It'll be really, really cute, so you'd better wear it.
Sure. I can't just accept a gift for nothing, though. I'll make one for you, too, if you'll teach me how. And I'll put plenty of feeling into it, so when we exchange them, it will really mean something.
Oh, that sounds lovely. I'll gladly teach you how, but make me something cute, okay?
I'll see what I can do. Oh, hello, Sedith.
Hello, Leonie. I imagine you are here to fish?
Yeah, this is a great spot for it. You must be a pretty experienced fisherman, huh?
Actually, while I have enjoyed the hobby for a long while, I must admit I am less than proficient.
Now that you mention it, I can see you're not having much luck today.
It is likely because I am not using any bait.
Well, that explains it. But why bother fishing at all if you're not even trying to catch something?
Truthfully, I fish only so that I might relax. It is soothing to me to cast the line and watch the water ripple. My days are busy, even hectic. It helps to find peace and quiet every so often.
Oh, that makes sense. Still, if you're going to go to all the trouble, you may as well actually bait the line.
Maybe so. But, to my chagrin, I do not even know what type of bait to use. I learned to fish by accompanying my wife. She was always the one to bait the hooks. She would hand me the rod and I would cast my line. I never paid attention to how the rest was done.
Ah, and your wife, where is she now?
She passed away quite some time ago. Since then, I have only to fish on my own. Even so, I find peace out here. Bait or no bait. What about you? Why do you fish?
Me? Just for the fish, actually. For me, it's purely practical. Catch a bite now, one less meal to worry about later. Hunting, fishing, whatever it takes to get by. That's how I've always done it. I'm not exactly starving right now, but back then, if I couldn't catch something, I'd go hungry. So getting the hang of it was pretty vital.
I would certainly say so. I imagine it is intensely satisfying to catch a fish when the need is so great.
Probably, yeah. The need makes it more purposeful. But hey, if you ever want to try fishing for real, I'd be happy to share my bait with you. And if you catch something, I'll cook it up nicely for you. How's that for motivation?
Oh, are you a skilled chef also?
Can't promise it'll be fancy, but it'll taste good.
Impressive. Wouldn't you know it, I am suddenly overcome with the urge to excel.
Great! Let's get started. Hello again, Sedith. Oh, full basket. Big catch?
Indeed. Thanks to you, I now know all about the proper use of bait.
Even so, that's quite the haul.
I have developed a few tricks of my own as well. In my enthusiasm, I may have gotten a little greedy.
Oh, yeah?
Once I started to catch fish, I began to pay very close attention to the number I had caught. I hear it is not uncommon for one to become a little preoccupied with that sort of thing. And when I recalled the prospect of having what I caught cooked for me, the challenge was too tempting to ignore. But alas, it seems I have gotten a little more preoccupied than is appropriate for my age.
Well, that's only natural. Seeing what you've already got just makes you curious how far you can take it.
It has made fishing an even richer experience for me. And for that, I must thank you.
Don't mention it. Actually, I should thank you too.
Oh?
Yeah. Used to be, I only ever fished for food. Lately, though, I've been coming here just to relax. I do still eat the fish, of course, but I appreciate fishing in a whole new way now.
Seems we have both made worthwhile discoveries. So which is it today? Hunger or relaxation?
I'd only planned to take it easy, but seeing all you've caught has definitely made me hungry.
I had planned to bring all of them to you regardless. Take as many as you please.
Hey, thanks. In that case, why don't we eat together? You can leave all the cooking to me. Today was a great day for fishing, wasn't it?
It was, though I did lose to you in numbers.
You won on size, though. Some of these fish are huge. And it was you who caught this beauty.
It is a lovely specimen. The fins are rather like wings, and the scales are reminiscent of a lustrous rainbow. But I have heard this type of fish does not taste good.
It's a little bland, but it's not bad. You just need to fry it in oil to bring the flavor out. There are lots of little bones, too, so you need to be careful eating it.
You truly are an expert, Leonie. I would be delighted if you would cook for us again.
Happily. You know, once this war's over, I'll be able to make even more elaborate dishes. I'm sure none of it will compare to your wife's cooking, though.
Entirely different styles. I very much look forward to seeing what you come up with. Yet another reason to end this war swiftly.
I'm flattered, but that doesn't seem like a good motivation to fight.
On the contrary, it is better than the usual reasons. In the heat of battle, it is little details like a friend's cooking that I reach for to find my courage.
I have to say, I didn't expect that from you. You're always so serious. But I really value our fishing time, too. With all the chaos, it's great to have a way to relax.
I hope there will come a time when we can fish like this without worry, to our heart's content.
Hope's not enough. We need to build that future with our own hands.
Agreed. But even after that is done, you had better not rest idle. I've grown quite fond of your cooking.
Don't worry. There's plenty more where that came from. Speaking of, time to handle today's haul.
Let me lend you a hand.
Alois, I was hoping you could tell me some more stories about Captain Gerald.
You'd like to hear about Gerald's adventures? You seem quite taken with these stories, Leonie.
Can't hurt, can it? All our work for the day is done. So remind me, how did you meet him?
It all feels like ancient history now. You see, the captain was visiting the kingdom of Fargus.
Uh-huh. Go on.
His previous squire had died from a ghastly plague. Then one day, he came upon me and appointed me his new squire.
At that age, you must have had some real talent and courage to stand out as a future knight.
Oh no, it wasn't that. I was just an orphan boy living in the monastery. I was a timid little thing.
Really? He didn't choose you for your bravery? What made him choose you then?
My face looked like the dead boys.
What? That's it?
Well, I asked the captain, and that was the only answer he gave me.
Abrasive to the last. That's Captain Gerald for you.
Yes. In those early days, I would sometimes wonder whether he was right in the head. When I saw him on the battlefield, though, those concerns were laid to rest. Anyway, I think I hear your professor has been looking for you. You'd better scrap.
Oh no, you're right. I'd better go. See you around. Hey, Alois. Tell me another story about Captain Gerald, will you?
I've told you so many. I don't have an endless supply, you know. There is one that comes to mind, however. That time the captain nearly killed me.
What? What did you do?
Well, it wasn't that I had done anything wrong. That wouldn't be much of a story, would it? No. We were at an inn making merry. Suddenly, the other guests began to gather around the captain. They wanted him to put on a show to entertain them with his skills.
Oh, I get it. They figured his aim would be great even while drunk.
That's right. He had a hatchet, and they asked him to hit targets with it.
A hatchet, huh? I guess a dagger would be too easy.
Indeed, indeed. Then the captain tells me, "Put this apple on your head and stand over there."
Ah, so he could knock it right off, huh?
That was the idea, but the hatchet fell short of my head, nearly striking me square in the chest. If I hadn't gotten out of the way, that inn would have been my grave.
I knew it. That's our captain. So clumsy sometimes.
True. Injuries take their toll on a man's dexterity.
Oh, so that's why? I just remember him saying his hands were no good for finesse.
Well, regardless, a master swordsman, that Captain Gerald. Even with the hatchet, now that I think of it. I never saw him miss in the training yard.
Really? Seems unlike him to miss that apple, then.
Yes, that just dawned on me. Throwing that hatchet, he shouldn't have missed so badly.
Do you think maybe he was secretly angry with you?
I'm not sure. What if the captain was, in fact, trying to kill me?
Ha! No way. He must have known you would dodge the throw in time. Horsing around at the inn, deadly serious on the battlefield. Sounds just like him, doesn't it?
Yes, certainly an eccentric man. Sometimes, Leonie, you quite remind me of him.
So that's it. I'm going to be a great mercenary just like Captain Gerald.
Ha! You skipped right to the conclusion. That's exactly what Gerald would do.
I know. I picked that up from him, too.
That might not be the finest trait of his to emulate. In the end, if you want to join the Knights of Ceres, it comes down to combat skill. Regardless, I'm happy to hear you say all this.
Why's that?
I've strived to become a knight at the level of Captain Gerald. But I'm an old man. I've come to accept that I will never be his match.
No, don't say that. You can't give up.
No, it's quite all right. I know myself and what I'm capable of. But you're still young. Youth is a weapon of the utmost power. Infinite possibility. We are both inspired by Captain Gerald. So I hereby bequeath to you my lofty ambitions.
That's... wow. I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
No need to cry, Leonie. I'm relieved. My dream is in good hands with you. Captain Gerald is looking down proudly on you, I'm sure. Will you carry on his legacy?
Of course I will. Definitely.
Leonie, do you remember the story I told you once about what happened at the inn?
The hatchet throwing? Sure, I remember. Why?
Gerald ran up quite a tab with all his drinking, and he left without paying. Now his debt is due. And as you have declared that you'll carry on his legacy, you see where I'm going with this.
Wait, what? That's got nothing to do with me.
Nothing to do with me either. I don't drink. Even so, all this time, I've been paying it back little by little. And it's not just that one place. He owes money in towns all over Fodlan. I haven't been able to step into a tavern anywhere without being badgered for payment. So exhausting. But now, I can say that the debts are for you to cover. You're still young, so I'm sure you'll manage in time. Thank you, Leonie!
Hold on, that's a joke, right? Hey, get back here! Take your lofty ambitions back! I don't want your stupid debts!
That's enough. You're done for today.
Right. Thanks.
Are you feeling pain anywhere, Leonie?
No. Sorry, I'm alright.
Why are you apologizing?
Because I can't hold my own against you. And on top of that, you have to worry about hurting me. I feel like I've let you down.
Do you know what I meant when I said, you're done for today?
Probably that I was about to keel over.
No, it wasn't about your physical strength. I could tell that you didn't have the will to keep fighting.
I've got plenty of will.
No matter what I do, I can't win. Isn't that what you were thinking? If you think you can't win, you won't. Perhaps you already knew that.
Good point.
But never assume that you'll win. That is, don't underestimate your foe. At all times, you have to keep a clear head to make split-second decisions. In battle, mistakes are deadly.
But I don't have a crest or a relic. How could I ever hope to beat you?
If you put it like that, I'll fight barehanded, and I won't use my crest. Think you can win? Do your worst. Oh dear, I might have overdone it there. But I believe in her. I would be doing her a disservice if I pulled any punches. It's Leonie after all. She'll be back on her feet and charging at me before I know it. Ha! Ha! Ha!
Catherine's working hard. I guess even the strongest fighters can't neglect their training. At it again? Or is she still at it?
Oh, a spectator. If you want to ogle, you ought to be a little less conspicuous.
Sorry, I didn't mean anything by it. I was just passing by. I couldn't help but wonder, though. Have you been training all this time?
Yes, I'm simulating prolonged combat. Fighting for a long time requires a whole different set of skills. If you can't handle it in training, you'll certainly be doomed against the real thing.
I can't even imagine having what it takes to keep that up for so long.
You've been in your share of battles. I'm sure you have some sense of what it takes. A brutal, protracted clash in open marshland, neither side retreating. In that situation, what will you do? Your survival depends on decisions you make in the moment.
I see why you're so successful.
Most importantly, don't give up. Don't start thinking about how you might lose or might die. Focus on surviving, on winning.
You're right. I've been narrow-minded. I had decided, since I don't have a crest and can't use relics, that I'm powerless against someone like you. But that's wrong. I'm not helpless. Not as long as I'm breathing and on my feet. So, the first thing I'm going to do is learn how to beat you. When you're unarmed, at least.
That's the spirit, Leonie. Though I'm not planning on losing either, you know.
Good. I hope you're ready, because I'm going to train even harder than you.
You remind me of myself when I was young. I would become so angry at my own weakness. I feel strangely nostalgic, seeing that same anger in you. Huh? Where'd that girl go?
We start tomorrow! Why am I so off? Yesterday wasn't like this. Some days I just can't seem to hit anything.
Your mind, body, and technique are not synchronized. Find harmony between the three. You lack experience. You'll improve if you practice.
Now that you mention it, Shamir, how come I've never seen you train? Do you keep odd hours? Or are you just so good that you don't even need it anymore?
I am always training. Look here.
A dagger.
Watch.
Wow, nice throw. That was a long one. But does throwing knives at pillars really count as shooting practice?
Look closely.
Is that a centipede? You pierced it clean in half. How did you even see that?
I train everything. Eyes, speed, accuracy. Watch as the bird flies. Feel the wind. Recognize the distance between objects. Not all training requires a weapon. Integrate training into your daily routine.
My daily routine, huh? Well, that's great advice. Thanks. I'll do my best.
Very good. Just be cautious. I heard what you did. I'm disappointed, Leonie.
Hi, Shamir. What have you heard exactly?
You aimed your bow at a group of students passing through the monastery. Was this your idiotic idea of training? I told you to be cautious.
I'm sorry. Idiotic's a bit harsh, though, isn't it?
What were you planning on doing after you took aim? Shooting passersby? Of course not. If you want to train, choose a target you can actually shoot.
I know. Everyone was pretty mad. I really am sorry.
Nobody's happy to have a bow pointed at them.
My mentor used to do that kind of thing a lot.
Mentor? Was that Gerald? I don't know much about him. Would he really do that?
Would and did. Mostly when he was drunk, though.
Not a good habit to emulate. From now on, only aim at bugs, like I showed you.
But, I don't really like bugs.
You don't like bugs? That should make you want to aim at them even more.
I just can't look at them. Seeing all the extra legs and things, ugh, makes my skin crawl.
Then just draw some spiders and hang them on the walls. Aim at the drawings whenever you pass one. Overcome your fear of bugs while you train.
You want me to draw spiders? Ew, no. Would that even help?
Yes, I should know.
Huh? You were scared of them too?
I was, but they don't bother me anymore.
Okay, you've talked me into it. I'll give it a try.
And don't hang them where other people might pass.
Got it. Learn my lesson. Promise.
I'm choosing to believe that.
Whew, guess that's enough for now.
You're improving, Leonie. No doubt a result of your new training routine.
Right, about that. I've been doing everything you said, but...
Something wrong?
Not with my archery, but... I'm not getting any better at dealing with bugs. Even with all the practice, I just can't bring myself to look at a real live spider.
You're still aiming at the spiders I instructed you to draw? Let me see one.
Sure. Here.
What is this?
What do you mean, what is it? It's a spider!
Ah, yes. I see now. It's quite... well, it's...
What's so funny?
I'm sorry. I lost my composure for a moment there. Your drawing is absolutely ridiculous.
Ridiculous? That's what they look like, isn't it?
Do you know how many legs a spider has? Or what its body looks like? Or ever seen one at all?
I just told you I can't even look at the little monsters.
A lack of subtlety no doubt learned from your former mentor. Regardless, aiming at this target won't help you overcome your fears. Here, use one of my drawings instead. Consider it an apology for my outburst.
Oh, why did you have to be so detailed?
This much detail is necessary if you wish to identify your enemy's weak points.
Oh, it's too much. I can't stand the sight of it.
This is guaranteed to help overcome your fears and improve your archery in the process.
So, archery's secondary now, is it?
You want to be a peerless mercenary, right? You'll never accomplish that if you're afraid of something as innocuous as a bug.
When you put it that way, I guess I'll have to. Okay, Shamir, you've talked me into it. First, I'll take out the drawings, and then I'll move on to the real thing.
Excellent. I look forward to seeing fewer spiders around here.